Here we go, as we are on a second safety car on lap 20 of 29. With Ivor out in lead at the moment, Danger David in second, Trugster in third, T-Bran in fourth, D. Perez in fifth, Quincy in sixth, Frankie in seventh, Skid Solo in eighth, RS0121 in ninth, Toxic in 10th, Pleasant Snake in 11th, Formula 1 Farah in 12th, Racing Wheel in 13th, Sir Ibo in 14th, Sandman in 15th, and Maverick in 16th. Peter Caspi, the Nosebo, and Kwan, the three drivers that are out of this race. We have 9 laps left to go. And we're under safety car number 2. For those that are just joining us, apologies for a couple of the technical issues that we've had trying to get things going. Unfortunately, under the first safety car, when the screen was paused, under the first safety car, it would not allow the unpause, which meant we were kicked from the session, and eventually we have come back. But multiple cars now going in for intermediate tyres. Perez up into second place on the intermediates. It doesn't look on the screen to me like there is any rain at all. So Perez in second place on intermediates. Danger David in 7th, his teammate, the Red Bull, on intermediates. Trugster, T-Bran, all on intermediates. Racing Wheel on intermediates as well. And RS pitting from 14th place onto the intermediate tyres. So prepare for what, if there is no rain any time now, is going to be absolute chaos. But nothing would surprise me in Miami or with EA when you think about it as well. So Ivor out in first place on hard tyres. The safety car is from an issue with Peter Caspi, who overtook Sir Ibo, went a little bit wide into the penultimate corner of the track, hit the wall, and his car had too much damage. The safety car was called immediately. VSM Sandman pitted for soft tyres and had a nice little lead in his advantage. However, a flat tyre on the back right tyre, only 2 laps old, soft tyres, meant that he had to pit again, and he has done, and it's seen him down in 14th place at the moment. A chance for Red Bull though, with one Haas running in 10th place, the other 13th, and only one Ferrari running at the moment, and that one is down in 14th place at the moment. So there's still a lot of racing left to go. We are on lap 21 of 29 of race 3 of season 11 of the All Assists Off League. I'm waiting for confirmation of the safety car going in, but it looks like at the moment it will stay out with us for at least another lap. And the intermediate tyres from a couple of these drivers, we're going to find out if it's going to work in their favour. When time does come, it looks like it is going to be Ivor that is the pace setter when the safety car does go in, and he'll be the one that will get things back underway when the time calls for it, as Toxic has now pitted. He's pitted from 8th place. And we'll see, riding on board with him at the moment, just what tyres he opts to go for. And I believe he's gone for intermediate tyres as well. So everyone seems to be on the way in for intermediate tyres as we speak. At the moment, it's the exact same as what's happened for Formula 1 Farah as well. So interesting choice, considering there is no rain. So I'm not quite sure if this is a decision for the long run. It's very possible that going on to intermediate tyres will stop them from needing another pit later on when the safety car does go in. And with everybody going on to intermediate tyres, it does mean we're looking at quite an interesting strategy to finish the race, as the race leader is currently Ivor, and he is currently heading through Sector 2 at the moment, nearly at the halfway point of the track. So we'll see what his decision is. I assume he's going to stay out and see these hard tyres through to the end, but it'd have to be advantage to the Mercedes of Quincy, the Alfa Tauri of Frankie, and the Aston Martin of Skid Solo, all sat on soft tyres at the moment. If Skid Solo can get a good start back from the safety car going in, this could be an excellent result for the 2 Aston Martins. Of course, finished 3rd place overall in the Constructors' Championship last season, as the rain is now starting to come down. So, is it masterclass strategy from the drivers that have moved on to intermediate tyres? As the safety car, we've just heard from race control, is in at the end of this lap. Ivor, Quincy, Frankie, Skid Solo, Pleasant Snake, Sir Ibo and Sandman all remain out there on dry, slick tyres at the moment. We've got Perez, Danger David, Trugster, T-Bran, Racing Wheel, Toxic, Formula 1 Farah, RS11.2.1 and Maverick, all on the intermediate tyres. As the safety car is in, we are with Ivor as the pace setter. We're going to see what he decides to do. He's decided to box at this point, which means we'll jump on board with D. Perez, who is now the pace setter, and we'll get things underway for us. And it could have worked out superbly for the Red Bulls, as Perez is in first place. Danger David is currently in third place, as everyone else has decided to pit at the moment. T-Bran, Quincy, Skid Solar and Ivor all boxing onto intermediate tyres. We do have a yellow flag in Sector 1 though, and it is Pleasant Snake on medium tyres. Just going to go across to him and see what's happening. It looks like he may have run a little bit wide, but the yellow flag's nothing serious. Just looking at how close people are at the moment. Racing Wheel neck and neck with VSM Sandman. Racing Wheel probably has the stronger grip, or will have the stronger grip over the next 6 laps or so, as Sandman's up in 5th place on those soft tyres, and he starts to get a bit of a lead of Racing Wheel. I suppose for the moment those soft tyres are the better tyres, but as this rain continues to fall, it's only a matter of time before DRS is disabled, and then we look at the intermediate tyres proving their worth, as at the moment Racing Wheel does have quite a hold up just behind him on those intermediate tyres, one of which is Suribo, who's gone in and nearly, I think there's a bit of a collision there, and it's caused Pleasant Snake a bit of a spin. And Formula 1 Farah has gone as a result of that as well, and it's Racing Wheel that's caught onto Formula 1 Farah as he's gone to take that corner. So he maintains 6th place at the moment, but he's got a bit of a group behind him, one of which is Sir Ibo. Sir Ibo's teammates, one that's just been spun, but as it stands, I've not seen anything to say that DRS has been disabled just yet, which means we are looking with a yellow flag there. We're looking with a yellow flag at the moment with Formula 1 Farah spinning off. DRS not enabled, so Suribo isn't able to use that, but goes up onto the inside to try and maintain position, and I think he's just caught the wall there, maybe just missed it, but he's had to heel and give that position to Racing Wheel, and he's going to box at the end of this lap and move himself onto potential intermediate tyres as Frankie holds the lead at the moment. He has got D. Perez just behind him though. It is a Red Bull 2-3 as it stands at the moment. And a yellow flag now in Sector 1. I think we're going to see a lot of this from cars on these slick soft tyres. Sandman currently in 5th place. T-Brand currently in 12th place. Moved up a couple of places from not pitting as Pleasant Snake is out of the race. He finishes in 16th place and will be given the classification of a DNF, as D. Perez remains within this second of Frankie, and Danger David will start to close the gap as the rain continues to pour down with 5 laps left here in Miami. He is losing a lot of time, half a second gain in those last couple of corners in the favour of Danger David. And Trugster is just behind him as well, so he could be looking at a podium finish for himself after gaining pole position earlier on. Evo may have missed his opportunity not pitting when everyone else did, as he had a nice little lead at the top, but he's on intermediate tyres now. He's racing in 9th place as we stay on board with Frankie, who is under pressure from D. Perez. That gap to him now is less than half a second, and with Danger David it's now nearly less than a second, and surely he's going to have to pit at the end of this. He's not, he's holding on, he's going to try and see it through to the end of the race and try and defend his way through this. Brave decision from Frankie, but he's under pressure now from D. Perez, who goes up onto the inside, can't quite get him on this corner, as now Danger David continues to close, and so does Trugster. There's a chance here that with this hold up, it's a chance that any of these 3 drivers, 4 drivers even, could still finish in first place, as Frankie has loads of defending to do before the end of this race. 4 laps left to go, and there goes D. Perez again to try and get him up onto the inside, but Frankie keeps his line very nicely. It's still not over yet though, as D. Perez once again tries to take the position, and he looks like going onto the outside. He might just have the position. No, Frankie's managed to hold on to it very nicely as well, and I think this time D. Perez is going to gain the position with the grip of the intermediate tyres, and he is. He takes first place from Frankie with that grip, and Danger David just follows his teammate through into second place, and Frankie now falls from first to third in the matter of corners, and then it's Trugster that takes third place away from him, but Trugster still has some pressure that he can put on the 2 Red Bulls here of AlphaTauri, but Frankie has done an excellent job for his teammate, allowing him to catch up. If it was just a case of defend, to allow Perez and Danger David to fall a little bit closer to Trugster, he's done a magnificent job. But it's currently the 2 Red Bulls in first and second, the AlphaTauris in third and fourth, as we have seen Sandman now fall to the pit stop. to get himself onto intermediate tyres, which means Frankie is the only one out there at the moment still out on soft tyres, but he does hold a 13-second lead to the Mercedes of RS11.2.1 as D. Perez, now under pressure from his teammate Danger David, manages to hold on to first place as we head back round onto the pit straight. Trugster just behind him, less than a second separates first from third as we stand at the moment, and the distance from fourth place Frankie is just getting bigger and bigger as the corners go on. As Ivor moves up into 6th place at the expense of Racing Wheel, and Maverick moves down into 10th place. Quincy and Toxic therefore move up. We are staying on board at the moment with Trugster because of how close it is at the front at the moment. It would be an excellent finish here for the AlphaTauris if they can finish 3rd and 4th place. One of them looks destined to finish on top, or on the podium should I say, at least the 3rd step of the podium. The other one will have some more defending to do in a lap or so's time, when the intermediate tyres start to gain grip and advantage on the soft tyres. Trugster now gets himself a 3-second time penalty in this wet weather. He's not the only one. Quincy got it just a couple of corners ago, and he goes onto the outside, turns into the inside of the corner, tries to take Danger David, who just manages to hold his position quite nicely. Still with, it's D. Perez, as Danger David's taken the lead of the race. The two Red Bulls together confusing me just for a moment, but Trugster stays in 3rd place, and I think the two Red Bulls getting close to each other is giving Trugster a chance on the outside. Can he get D. Perez? Keeps it onto the inside line, up towards the next corner, keeps the inside line. Looks like there might have been a bit of a collision, and there is, as Trugster goes wide into the wall, and I think that might be a little bit of wing damage for Trugster there, but he's still in 3rd place, and I think that might just confirm that it's going to be a 1-2 for Red Bull. Goes up on a very tight corner there, does Trugster, and loses a bit of, now he's lost a bit of the momentum that he had going into D. Perez, and I think he's lost a bit of that car as well. So his speed seems to have dropped significantly. We'll see over the next couple of laps if he can gain that at all. But the distance now is closer between RS0121 than it is between Frankie and Trugster. So we'll go on board with Ivor, who is also closing the gap on Frankie and could still get himself in with a podium position at the moment, as the two Red Bulls switch position again, and there goes RS0121. He spins off into the wall with advantage Ivor as he moves into 5th place, and that is RS0121 out of the race for the Mercedes. He is done. He's going to get a DNF as well, but it moves Ivor up into 5th place. Now just 2 seconds separates him from Frankie. Frankie, of course, on the much slower soft tyres in this condition. He's got that chance, but he's then 10 seconds behind Trugster. All he's got to do is get himself, he's calmly and very comfortably got past Frankie there for the Aston Martin, and now all he's got to do is gain 7 seconds on Trugster, because while the distance is 10 seconds, Trugster of course has a 3-second time penalty to take into account, and with that damage, these last couple of laps are all but pivotal for Ivor in this race, having led at one point and potentially having a good strong position for the lead. He falls himself down into 4th place and is now battling for 3rd. Behind him is VSM Sandman in 5th place, who is also now past Frankie 1811 after what has been a very tough race for VSM Sandman. He too could have had a very good shout for being the race leader if it wasn't for the fact that his tyre gave up on him after just 2 laps. So he's currently in 5th place just behind Ivor. 1.7 seconds separates the two of them. We're going to go across to Frankie because he is currently, as it stands, with no wing, in free fall in the AlphaTauri. He did the best that he could to give his teammate a chance, but as it stands at the moment, he's down in 8th place. So we're on board with Frankie in 8th place. We're just a couple of laps away, and it is going to be a race to the end for the two Red Bull drivers of Perez and Danger David, who, with their chances of taking Red Bull to the very top, are maximising their potential here. With AMS Johnsy not being here for this race, it's given them an excellent chance. With only one Haas finishing the race, it has given them an excellent chance. Suribo is in 11th place. Pleasant Snake getting a DNF down in 16th place as it stands at the moment. As we prepare for the last couple of corners. Nothing too silly from the two Red Bulls, who are more than happy to just see this through. But it's a chance for D. Perez to put his name alongside Danger David's there with Red Bull as a competitor for this season. We're only on race 3, so there's still a long way to go. And as it stands, it is going to be Perez on top step, Danger David on the second, and Trugster taking the third step of the podium. We'll jump on board with Skid Solo, who at the moment is getting closer to Sir Ibo. Of course, with the wet weather means no DRS, which means these overtakes aren't as frequent. But with Frankie down in 9th place at the moment, they could still gain a bit of momentum. We see Frankie limping his way around the corner just at the moment on those soft tyres. It was a risky call to stay out for the entire of the rainy period on the soft tyres. And it's seen him fall from the lead down into 9th place in the last couple of laps, as we do have a yellow flag in Sector 2. And it is going to be Frankie again, but now Skid Solo, who has lost a little bit of pace on Suribo, is going to have his chance to get past Frankie as well. And there's still a 21-second difference between Frankie and T-Bran there. So we are on the final lap, which means we'll jump on board with the current race leader. And for the first time since we started covering the All Assist Soft League around about 4 races ago, it's the first time that we dare say we're not sure just who the winner's going to be when the checkered flag is waved in around about 8 or 9 corners time. Going through Sector 2 at the moment is D. Perez. He's got nearly a second lead of his teammate Danger David, who currently sits in second place in the Drivers' Championship. And that lead is just getting further away for him. They said after race 1 it was all about winning this league as a team, as a unit. Unified as Red Bull. Heading on to the Sector 3 straight. The final DRS zone. And that distance is now 1.5 seconds in favour of D. Perez. There's been plenty of talking about whether he can match up to what Danger David's been doing in the Red Bull. Well, those critics have surely been answered today. A fantastic race for D. Perez that he is going to bring home in Miami around the Hard Rock Stadium, as the top step of the podium goes to D. Perez, followed in second by his teammate Danger David. Despite a 3-second time penalty, Trugster is going to finish on the third step for the AlphaTauri. An excellent race from him as well. VSM Sandman has had his troubles, and he's finished in 4th place. He's hit the wall, and I was unsure for a moment whether that was before or after the checkered flag, but it's after, and he's finished in 4th place. Ivor comes round into 5th place. It's going to be Toxic in 6th place for now. I think the time penalties will still keep him in 6th place. Same for Racing Wheel, who will finish in the Alpine in 7th place. And then we've got the Maverick down in 8th place in the McLaren. Followed by Sir Ibo, the only Haas driver to finish the race today. Skid Solo will then finish in 10th for the Aston Martin. As we wait on board with AlphaTauri, Frankie. Excellent driving. Maybe one of the reasons why his teammates got the third step on the podium. Wonderful defending from him. And we'll wait as T-Bran, who's still a fair few corners away, will bring us home for the end of this race. But it's been a very eventful race. Thank you for joining us back for the conclusion of the race. Of course, we've had a few technical difficulties there, but we got to see the start and we got to see the end. Anything that happened in the middle, well, it's not worth mentioning, is it? But there we go. Your winner of the Miami Grand Prix is D. Perez. We'll hopefully be having a chat with D. Perez, with Danger David, and with Trugster after the race. So stay with us on this channel. And we'll be getting post-race reaction from the 2 Red Bulls and, of course, the AlphaTauri. It's been a great day for Red Bull as the 2 drivers finished top 2 positions and the sister team finishes in 3rd place. We'll be back in a moment and hopefully have some feedback from the drivers that finished on the podium. doesn't look like Truxter's going to be joining us, so we'll get things underway with the two Red Bulls that are joining us. We'll start first of all with Danger David, second place on the podium. You told me when we spoke after the Las Vegas race that this season was all about a team effort and getting over the line for Red Bull. This is a prime example of how that's worked out in your favour, isn't it? Yeah, and with, of course, only one Haas, one Ferrari finishing the race, it maximises the potential that you guys could have got. I think other than the fastest lap, a top two position is the best you could have done today. So it closes the gap for you personally on AMS Johnsy, if not takes you, of course, to the top. Or it closes, and in fact it does take Red Bull to the top of the constructors, doesn't it? So yeah, I think it's a very consistent pairing. So congratulations on second place for yourself. And we'll move across now to speaking to Perez. First of all, congratulations, top step of the podium, a win for yourself. Yeah, yeah, it's the top two steps of the podium. Of course, it's the best that you could have got. So the decision, I'll be honest, I were questioning it when it happened. I think you were the first one to make the move and go into the intermediate tyres. So what was the thought process there with it still being dry at the time? Of course. And were there any nerves going into any of those corners when you were both kind of coming close together, knowing how close you were to such a successful race as a team, that there were any sort of nerves that any sort of error in the rain especially could have cost you both? Absolutely. Well, lads, thank you very much. Congratulations on the 1-2, and look forward to seeing and maybe even hearing more from you in Bahrain. Cheers.